Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
Wake up with a bang.
Hey, wake up!
Anele and The Club
On 947.
Right now, I saw this on the ENCA Twitter account.
Okay.
And it reads, trouble is brewing in Joburg over a controversial bylaw regulating CCTV installation. The regulation forces residents and businesses to apply for permission to install private CCTV cameras covering any public space. But OUTA says the city has no right to insert its powers in this manner. I'm on OUTA's side. Who's OUTA? Who's those guys?
They are the organization Undoing Tax Abuse. You might remember them from the fight against e-tolls.
Yeah.
It's evolved then
I'm even more on their
to
side.
various other public campaigns.
Okay, so did we get the CEO of OUTA on the line? Okay.
We did.
Mr. Wayne, I really don't want to mess up your surname. And I was told 3 times, if I mess up your surname, you're going to be upset with me.
No, I'm not going to be upset.
Wayne
It happens.
Duvenage.
Duvenage, yeah.
Oh!
Duvenage, there we go.
No problem.
And I'm,
Well done.
I'm on your side. How much money do you want? I'm in the fight with you. I'm sorry, guys.
That's a nice one.
No, with the crime issues that we have, with like the darkness that happens in the cities, we are fighting people who are putting up cameras. Why is that wrong? Wayne, why are they fighting you?
Isn't it crazy? Hey, well, they're fighting us. It's just madness. You know, we do as much as we can to protect ourselves because we aren't protected as well as we should be by our own security services. And here we're told now to take down our cameras or register them and pay fees and have certain conditions applied to them. And this is nonsense. You know, you go into any neighborhood or businesses, cameras are there for a reason. And they are becoming very onerous and draconian, quite frankly, in their conditions. And we're saying they don't have any rights to do so. So we're going to challenge them. We've filed papers in the court, and let's see if they want to defend it. I think if they do, they're crazy.
When did this come about? Because we were all putting up cameras and it was not an issue.
Yeah.
Or has it just always been a rule that we weren't aware of?
Yeah, it hasn't been a rule all the time. They passed this bylaw in February this year, so it was a recent development. There's obviously other agendas at play. We don't know what they are, so we want to know, you know, how did they consult with the public? And they need to do so meaningfully, by the way. That's the law. And if they haven't done so, then they have to start again, and we'll have to apply our pressure then. But for now, we need to have this bylaw reversed, and to do that, we have to go to court.
I want to ask, because I know that when we drive around, you see that some of these fiber providers, is it Vumatel, they've put up cameras on street corners, and does it apply to them as well?
Not sure, you know, and this is what we're asking. Does it apply to them? Is it that they want to seek a monopoly on this industry in the neighborhoods? So that's all the information that we seek. But for now, if you have a camera on your property and it just protrudes partially and picks up pictures on the pavement or any public areas or a car park in a sort of business area, that's not allowed, they're saying, and we're saying that's absolutely crazy, especially in neighborhoods where you have collectively bandied together.
Yes.
Put up your camera systems. You know, you can't be told to take them down. You're doing all you can to help the city, quite frankly, defend yourselves from all the crime, and then they want to treat you like criminals.
So, Wayne, the bylaw would require, am I right, an application or registration if you do want to install a camera that would face a public area, right? How stringent or how hard is the test actually to qualify for that application to go through?
Well, it has to, you know, you have to meet certain criteria for your camera system. It has to keep recordings for X amount of days. There has to be certain quality. They have rights to that footage, by the way. They can come in and seize that footage if they want it. It's just too many rules that are applying here. You know, if you want just your cameras to see live but not record, they won't allow you to do that. They'll force you to take it down. And you have to register and pay a fee. I mean, it's crazy. You know, why do they want to make more money out of the citizens who are struggling as it is to keep pace with these high tariffs that they have?
Now, Wayne, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you know this because you've got all your ducks in a row, so you can fight this on our behalf, you know. But out of the many promises that Banyaza Lesufi has made, I think he did it on our show, or I listened to him somewhere else, where they said when they were fighting crime, remember when they said they're going to put like security guards at every street corner, they're going to put up cameras at every street corner. So,
how do you balance that?
How do you balance that? Who's right and who's wrong and who's pushing what? Because if the premier of Gauteng is saying they want cameras on every street corner, I would suppose that us putting up cameras kind of helps him along with what he's trying to achieve.
It should. But we don't know if this is part of their agenda to bring in further costs to the city that you and I will have to pick up. But yes, that's the Gauteng provincial decision. This one here we're fighting is a city of Joburg one, so there's two different levels of government. And all we're saying to the city is, let's be reasonable. Let us listen to what your rationale is. You need to listen to what the public's rationale and responses to this is. Take them meaningfully, and we'll find solutions to this. But don't become draconian and pass all of these rules and laws and threaten us with all the things that you want to do, because we're not. We cannot lie down and just allow the city and leadership to walk all over us in this way.
The one thing that catches my eye every time something like this happens is when it says the regulation forces residents and business to apply for permission. And I think, the first thing that goes through my mind is, have you tried to do anything with the city? Like the bureaucracy, it's impossible. And we're talking basic things. To get them to do basic things or basic applications for takes forever. Now you want to add another thing that we can't administer.
Yeah, and they will struggle to administer that. And if you go back in a few years' time and ask them where the registrations, how many registrations have you had, has anyone complied, they won't be able to give you those answers because their administration is absolutely shocking.
So the argument from council has been that they don't want to do away with the installation of CCTV cameras, right, but to better regulate it. Has there been an abuse of the current system? And if so, are there actual examples of why it has posed such a problem, especially when you consider protection of privacy, etc.?
Yeah, no, we haven't seen anything of that nature. So, again, we want to know what informed their decision and how did they go about consulting meaningfully with all sectors of society. There's a lot of stakeholders here. And then we'll see what that response is. But from what we can gather, it's been very weak, and there's a lot of irrationality at play here.
Where to from now, and how can we support you if we are on your side? And also feel free to say you are against Wayne and this, the question.
Yeah, if you've got a reason.
Yeah, if you've got a reason. I'd love to know what your reason is for not wanting more cameras, covering the city.
Yeah.
011-8838-947. Wayne, where to from now, and what are the timelines? And I ask timelines very loosely because,
Yeah, so we filed our papers recently. We're waiting for their response. Firstly, they've got to indicate whether they're going to, challenge our response, in which case it goes into court. I think if they get their legal advisors to have a look at what's unfolded and what we are arguing, they should be well advised to not proceed in fighting and wasting more of our taxpayers' money in a court battle, and sit down with us and other players in the space and let's find a solution. Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do if we're going to hold our administrators to account and make sure that they run this country and run our city in the best interest of all its people. And this isn't one of those examples, so we have to challenge them.
So up until then, am I allowed to have my cameras pointing the street outside my house as we speak right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
There
now.
we go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Wayne Duvenage. And please let us know when you want to chat with us, to update us, and let us know how can we help. If you need petition signed, if you need us to rock up somewhere in our numbers. Like this one, I'm ready to be an active citizen on this one. I'm sorry about it.
We'll do that. Love it. Just tell your listeners to keep supporting OUTA on our website, and we've got a lot of information on there and statements of the things we're doing at outa.co.za.
And thanks for the work that you guys do, Wayne, because this is a thankless job, and we thank you for it because you do amazing stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Lovely.
Wayne.
All the best.
The truth of the matter is, how many times has something happened to you and the first thing you ask is, do you guys have cameras? And then the establishment you're in doesn't have cameras, but down the road, another establishment, you go from door to door to door and find out, they have cameras and they've got a registration number, and then you take that to the cops, and sooner or later your problem is solved. So I have no idea why this is even a discussion, right? And if you like, talk to me about privacy. You don't have you don't have a right to privacy to do crime, guys. Like, what is it that you are so wanting no one
Yes.
to know that you're up to that. You don't want cameras pointing in your direction.
It doesn't make sense. I think most people have. I mean, it's not like you're putting up cameras down your whole street for yourself,
Dude.
You know, you just it's for your property. You're securing your property. You just want to be able to see at the gate.
I just need one person to convince me otherwise. Just one. We're not going to fight you. We're not going to climb on you. We'll all keep quiet. We'll let you finish what you want to say. Maybe you've got an example of why this thing didn't work out for you.
Although if we jump you, it won't be on camera.
Thanks to who? You. 011-8838-947. Send us a voice note 084-0000-947. What do you think of Joburg passing a bylaw forcing homeowners and businesses to apply for permission before installing CCTV cameras facing public spaces like streets and pavements? The city says it's about privacy and data protection. OUTA disagrees. What do you think?
We're in a country where crime is at its peak, or whatever we call it. Every corner, every day, people are murdered, people are hijacked, and cameras will help in solving crimes. But instead of cameras being a positive thing, now, no.
You know who doesn't like CCTV cameras showing their faces? It's criminals. And with everything that's going on in the news and cartels, etc., gotta kind of ask the question, where is this now coming from?
What is this country turning into? We're just not safe. It's like they're just bringing the thieves and all these dangerous people into our lives. They're just throwing them to us. It's fine.
This is about money, straight. Why? If it was about data protection and everything, you would just ban private people from putting up their own cameras. You wouldn't charge a fee.
Thieves don't have rights. The end.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So this is why now this is literally an open survey to find out, is there anybody listening to us that has got an issue with cameras that are everywhere? It's only criminals that will have an issue with being identified.
Yeah, I don't think there's, and all of us know, you go into a mall, there's cameras.
There's cameras.
Right, so you are being captured wherever you go. Between the influencers making influencer videos with you in the background.
At the gym,
and the cameras across any public space. There's cameras everywhere.
Why all of a sudden do you not want people to be captured on camera?
Yeah, what's the story?
Ashley, talk to us. You're in Joburg South. What's your take on this?
Hi, Anele and The Club. Hope you're all good.
We are great. How are you?
So we stay in the south of Joburg. We've had many instances where we had home invasions and that sort of thing. Early parts of last week, Wednesday, we had a gentleman jump into our yard and help himself to our front, our lights. And, we were only able to see how he gained access and that sort of thing through the camera footage. So at this point in time, we're very pro camera footage because, if we're at work, we can check up on the kids through the camera footage and those sort of things. So for me, the law that has been passed is nonsense.
Ridiculous. And also, who wants to only see the criminal inside your house?
You want to see it outside.
I want to see them approaching. I want to see where they came from. And the only way that I can do that is if I can go to my neighbors and go to the neighborhood watch cameras and be like, where did this person come from? Because my TV from outside is gone.
Exactly.
This thing of you can only have them in your house. For what? So that now we're all on candid camera with the criminals.
Yeah, so that we can have footage of someone inside my house with me. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And, we stay in a boomed up area and, there's cameras on the road. And when there's suspicious cars, we're able to get the registrations through those cameras. So, we're just out here trying to protect ourselves from criminals. We do stay in South Africa and... when these things are questioned, it makes you wonder, what is the government really up to and what are they trying to promote?
Whose hand is in there?
Yeah, what is the reason?
Whose hand is trying to make criminals have a good time? From Ashley to Amy. Good morning, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm heated, but as any other morning really.
And so we should be.
So what do you think?
So I think, look, we do need CCTV on the streets and for all the above reasons. When there's incidents in our area, everyone's providing their footage, but they're going about it the wrong way. Yes, the police need help, but us registering our systems, we can't just give them access to one camera. They get access to our whole system. They can see my kids running around inside my house. They don't need that. And they don't need us to pay to give them the information.
Where does money enter? that's confusing for me. Where does the money enter? I'm already paying for my own system. I'm paying for its maintenance. I'm paying for its electricity. I'm paying for like the entire system. Why do you want more money from me when I'm doing something that you should have been doing to keep me safe from the tax money I already pay you?
Exactly. I think the money that is going to the councils is unfortunately not making it to the right place. And now they're just trying to fund themselves another way.
Yeah.
But I do really believe these cameras are important. That's why we have private security companies doing exactly this.
And they do it in a spectacular way. Those the cameras on the corners that we see that have been put up, those systems are incredible. And they work with the police.
Guys, trust the government to interrupt people whilst they're doing a good thing. The one people you can't interrupt are the criminals. There you're failing at interrupting them. People who are actually doing something good for the community and society. No. This is against the rules. And which rules are you going to fight? Because the criminals they're having a whale of a time. They're breaking all of the laws and nothing's happening to them.
I have people in my family like this. So if you have someone recording, say, your street, and on that street you can see the entrance to someone's property, you literally now have a time log of their routine, of whenever they go out, whenever they go back in, and that could potentially, if that falls in the wrong hands, lead to more crime.
Our country is so far backwards in their thinking because all the first world countries have CCTV cameras, and this is what curbs crime.
I mean, this thing about cameras is crazy. I mean, who wants to assert their privacy on Joburg streets? What in the name of General Mkonans is that?
What a question. It's like a public street, and that's where you're worried about your privacy.
Look, that lady makes, and we did say, make the point about the council. She did make a point there, is that it is troublesome that my camera faces directly onto my sidewalk, but it does catch my neighbor, and I can track everything my neighbor is doing.
And we know that criminals like to move into an area, rent for a year, whilst they clean out the entire neighborhood.
Right.
And them having the footage of when you leave, who comes, at what time, Tuesdays, this Wednesdays, that you're kind of giving them, a proper call register and a call log of what happens in your life.
So point made, but the question is, and this is always the thing for me, is that, so I get a point made, but to Anele's point, what is the council using as a tick for this? Does the camera have to point down? Does it, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to regulate who gets a camera, where they put the camera, what angle the camera is? It's
because if some of us are getting it and some of us are going to be denied, I need to understand.
How are you denying? And we're talking millions of people here. It's impossible to regulate this.
Charlie, good morning.
Good morning, Anele and The Club.
Morning. You say you all for CCTV cameras?
Absolutely. I live in Springs. First of all, we've got a security company in Springs, but I think I sent for them for a little bit. I think they've got 6 sniper cameras up within the Springs area, which have helped the police to catch criminals that have either hijacked or stolen vehicles or committed other crimes. That's number one. In our street, I think is possibly one of the safest streets you can live in. Every alternative house has a CCTV camera that shows onto the street. So, yes, everybody watches out for the next person. If something happens, we're on a WhatsApp group or and a Zello group, and it comes through immediately. Guys, listen, I've noticed this, or guys, I've noticed that. And we've managed to catch every perpetrator that is maybe even there was somebody that stole those steel tables for outside. Stole that. They managed to catch him.
But did they get far? Those tables are not light.
They're heavy, no?
No, those tables are not light. So for me, I think it's a good thing. Yes. It needs to be regulated, I suppose, to a point, but not to the point where it's going to harbour us as South African citizens and our safety.
Yeah, that's it.
And also, we didn't just wake up one day, hey guys, and decide to take safety into our own hands. It is what do you call them? The justice system, the criminal system. It's the cops. It's just being let down enough times that you think to yourself, you know what? Let's create a barrier.
We just want to be safe.
Let's just create a barrier to entry. Let's create a barrier to the crime that is just becoming so normal.
Yeah.
I just feel we've gotten to a point where our houses get invaded and the only thing we say is, at least it didn't harm you.
Yeah, exactly.
I am harmed. I am forever psychologically scarred because there was someone in my house.
We have, and this is, I think, what you're also trying to say is we've normalized the way we live, right? And if you travel, if you're lucky enough to travel overseas, you'll often go to a place. It happened to me, and we were in LA together. And you're walking in a suburb in LA, and you go, no one has a wall. Like there's no fence.
There's nothing.
There's no fences between houses.
But there's cameras.
There are cameras, but my point is that we built our walls. That's where we started.
Yeah.
Now we're putting in cameras. Because we're trying to be safe.
Dude, now we're putting in your own security. Go to Morningside. Every house has got a private security person afterwards. What's next? Saying that that's illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
Lerato, you say that they need to be regulated. In what way do you want CCTV to be regulated?
So, yes, I think it needs to be regulated in the fact that, for instance, who decides what company to procure the cameras for, what cost are they going to be charged at. My brother's neighborhood, the residents have decided to put up cameras now. They're now they're splitting the bills amongst the residents and charging an exorbitant amount for it. So we're like, but who determines the price? Who determines the supplier and the vendor? Another situation happened. My parents live in an enclosure. In 2018, my car got stolen, and they have cameras in the enclosure. When then I approached the security company to ask them for the footage, they were like, no, you have to pay for the footage. We're like, but we pay for security every time. We paid when the cameras were put up. So I think it should be regulated so that who owns the footage, who has rights and access to the footage, which supplier and vendor gets, contracted to put up the cameras, at what costs are they allowed to do it? So it sucks that we have to get to this point because government has failed us.
Yeah, your brother and your parents they're not allowed to have their own private cameras. They all have to be part of this Bos Parade, like the stock cameras.
So this is exactly what my brother was saying, that he's got his own cameras in his own house, actually. So I didn't even realize that this law actually applies to the cameras in his own house. So now they feel that those cameras are not enough because obviously they've got blind spots. So now they're putting cameras up the whole street to cover the whole streets and cover blind spots, etc., which are now completely in communal property. And then they're making all the residents in the area contribute towards the cost of that. But who manages that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a normal suburb. Hey, we're not talking an estate or something like that.
It's not an estate. It's a normal, everyday neighborhood.
So where I live, it's very similar in the area that I'm in because there is a security company that sort of oversees the whole area. And if you're a standalone house, and there are many of them, you must choose to be part of the scheme. Let's call it a security scheme or not, right? And you can't be forced to be part of it. So if we're 10 houses on the street and 8 houses decide we're going to put up cameras around the street, that's fine. I can say...
The other two can say no thanks.
No, I can say, sure, you guys are welcome to put up cameras. I'm fine, I'll sign it off, but I'm not going to contribute to that. Right? You can't force me to contribute
But then when it's time for you to ask for help from the cameras?
Well, that's the conversation. But that's what Lerato's saying. That's how you get bullied into signing up, Ma, because then they go, well, remember, if something happens at your place, hey, don't come running to us. It's a difficult conversation.
It's a difficult conversation because I am so cynical that if I'm the person, I'm the 2 out of 10 who say I'm not going to put up my cameras. What are the chances of you guys kind of concocting something to happen to me to force me into a situation where I felt unsafe so I can come running to then want to be part of the scheme?
Yeah, but that is what she's saying. This is the part where it gets tricky, where regulation becomes an issue. The point is that we shouldn't have cameras on the street. We shouldn't need them.
But we do.
Say goodbye now. Back to making your morning.
Anele and The Club.
I love this show. On 947.